drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers lost their second straight game after a 3-0 start. Magic Johnson's Washington Commanders rolled up into SoFi Stadium Sunday and dominated the Chargers 27-10. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, back in the lineup after missing 2 weeks with a sprained left knee, threw for 231 yards and a touchdown. After the game, the San Bernardino native was spotted giving a tender handshake to USC women's basketball star Juju Watkins. The Dodgers are back in action today in Philadelphia for Game 2 of their divisional round playoff series. The Dodgers have a 1-0 lead in the best-of-7. First pitch at 3 p.m. Pacific time on TBS. UCLA's 42-37 upset win over Penn State Saturday knocked Penn State out of the top 25 rankings. Penn State was ranked 7th in the nation when they walked into the Rose Bowl Saturday morning. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate, with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless, for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Farm. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
I'm gonna try to keep it coming. Things ain't always smooth, but I'll be alright as long as I can find the good. Yes, I will. Somehow I know that I can make it. You seem to like my style. Don't you worry, I'm gonna be around a while. I'm just happy to see you talk to me. I can start again.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley, and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavisSmileyShow.com. That's thetavisSmileyShow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. Today, one of those days where we're going to try to squeeze an 80-pound show into a 40-pound bag. Here's what I mean. In our second hour, two conversations. Up first, it's Monday. So it's Smiley and West at the top of the hour. We shall see what Doc's walk-on song is today and navigate forward from there. Dr. Cornell West kicks off hour 2. On the B side of hour 2, a conversation about America's original sinner, Christopher Columbus. Penn State historian and anthropologist Matthew Restall on his brand new text, The 9 Lives of Christopher Columbus. In our third hour, 2 more conversations. Up first, R&B saxophonist Boney James comes live in studio on the top side of hour 3 to talk about his brand new album, Slow Burn. We'll play some of the new project for you. Boney James at the top of hour 3. On the B side of hour 3, clinical psychotherapist, social psychologist, and professor Dr. Anahita Madhavi West makes the case for normalizing depression. You heard me correct. Normalizing depression. It's a fascinating idea, especially during a moment of political unrest, economic inequality, and social uncertainty like this, where we are, dare I say, witnessing the decay of our civilization and the devolution of our culture. Put another way, if you are not experiencing any angst right about now, then there may be something wrong with you. We'll talk about normalizing depression, what that looks like, what that means, what the toolbox is for dealing with it on the backside of hour 3. I told you, trying to squeeze an 80-pound show into a 40-pound bag. I ain't done yet. In this first hour, 2 more conversations. Y'all working me today. On the B side of this hour, we'll be joined by Dr. Kaye Wise Whitehead, director of the Karson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice at Loyola University Maryland, if I could say it, for a conversation about whether Democrats can, in fact, stand firm in this ongoing government shutdown standoff. We'll do that on the backside of this hour, but we commence today's show in conversation with California Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove. Before I bring her on camera, bring her on the microphone, camera and mic for that matter. She's in studio. Here's some sound from Speaker Mike Johnson, as if she needs to hear his voice ever again. She's shaking her head already. This is Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, on Friday.
Here's the president, the current occupant of the White House. It's been given this opportunity by Chuck Schumer. And he's a limited government conservative. He's looking at that and saying, gee, this is inefficient. This is ineffective. And we'd never get Democrat votes to limit that because they never vote to limit government, ever. It's against their religion. But he has that opportunity now to say, this is a program that would serve the American people if it were not funded, because government would be more efficient and effective, and that serves everyone. So they're going to make those decisions. Now, are they taking great pleasure in that? No. Is he trolling the Democrats? Yes. Yes, because that's what President Trump does, and people are having fun with this. But at the end of the day, the decisions are tough ones. And I've met with him. I talked yesterday at length with Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. Russ takes no pleasure in this. So the effects are very serious on real people, real Americans. We support federal employees who do a great job in all these different areas, but what they're trying to have fun with, trying to make light of, is to point out the absurdity of the Democrats' position. And they're using memes and all the tools of social media to do that. Some people, find that entertaining, but at the end of the day, the decisions are hard ones, and I'm telling you, they're not taking any pleasure in that.
We got 90 seconds here now. We'll continue, of course, when we come forward, Karson. First of all, good to see you.
Always good to see you. Always good to be here.
Glad to have you here. Let me ask very quickly, are you having fun being trolled?
That was the most egregious clip I've heard in a while. Are people having fun with being kicked off of Medicare and seeing their healthcare premiums go up if you need insulin, if you're on some kind of cancer treatment? Is the president supposed to troll folks who need help when they call their government? Is Russ Vought, who is an unelected bureaucrat, as they like to say, supposed to have all of this power? I mean, there were so many wrongs with what that man said.
There were. We got more time to unpack it. She is in studio. I want to talk about this government shutdown. We'll talk about it, as I said, at the backside of this hour with Kaye Wise Whitehead about whether or not Democrats can stand firm. But why talk to Kaye when I can talk to a Democrat who is in Congress? We'll do that. We'll do both of those. And then, of course, if you're living in California, or for that matter, across the country, I often say what happens in California politics either cast a long shadow or a long sunbeam across the nation. The country is watching California. And this redistricting effort, Prop 50, is the conversation of the day as we push toward this special election here in California a few weeks from now. We'll talk about that. You're listening to Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at kbla1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community focused. So just go to kbla1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-295-0763. 800-295-0763.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We've all had that epic rideshare experience. Halfway through the trip, you know their heartbreak, their career path, and they know your aspirations to go find yourself in Portugal. It's human. We're all looking for connection, for someone to listen. But sometimes the people we spill our hearts to aren't exactly equipped to help us through it. With over a decade of data-backed experience from helping millions of people, BetterHelp matches you with a therapist based on your needs and goals. No asking for recommendations or endless scrolling through listings. Simply answer a few questions online and you'll be matched with a therapist, often in as little as 48 hours. Join over 5 million people worldwide who've trusted BetterHelp for their mental health and well-being. Get a therapist who gets you. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABC Radio to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/ABC Radio.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
I was telling the Congressman a funny story in that break there. So let me just ask this on the air right quick for those of you in California and around the country who admire her and respect her work as I do. How do you pronounce that K word?
Thank you, Tavis.
How do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Kamlager.
Okay.
Cam like camel, lager like beer.
Okay. And what's your dad? How's your dad pronounce it?
My dad pronounces it Kamlager.
Oh.
So,
so if we go either way.
you go either way, you're good.
We're okay.
You're
okay.
Yes.
People mispronounce my name, for years, of course. I've been called Travis more times than I can count.
Yes.
I got to the point, I just, you know what? Just don't call me late for dinner.
Right.
I've been called worse.
Right.
So there you have it. For those who've always wondered, how does she pronounce her last name? There you have it. All right, let's make the most of the time we have here. I want to go back to this government shutdown. We're starting out the week with this thing still hanging over our heads. What's your sense of where we are and where we're headed, or not, as it were?
Right. So day 6 of a government shutdown, completely preventable at the hands of Donald Trump, who is using this as an excuse to cut more government services and continue to terminate workers. Remember, he was doing this from the beginning when Doge kicked off. And we are letting people know that we're standing firm with the government shutdown because we are fighting for people's health care. This is a system already been captured by big pharma and big insurance companies. It's already too expensive to have health care. But now with this negotiations that they want us to sort of bend the knee towards premiums, you're at risk of losing your Medicaid, losing your Medicare. If you're in California, that could be Medi-Cal. Premiums would go up. Premiums could double. Your co-pays could go up. And so that people know, there are actually more folks in red states who are enrolled, in Medicaid than there are in blue states. So we're saying, no, we don't want folks to get letters saying your premiums are going to go up. We don't want community clinics to close, hospitals close, maternity wards to close. And they want us to do that.
Why does that calculus not matter to them? What you just said is a powerful point, that there are more folks in red states than blue states enrolled. Why does that calculus not matter to them?
Because Donald Trump is not a president. He's a punisher. And he ran to get even and to get back at folks rather than to lead. And we have to remember, earlier in the year, they passed a $4.5 trillion tax break to go to the richest of the rich. They had to pay that some kind of way, and they're trying to pay it with money that they're stealing from our healthcare. In H.R. 1, it was about making all of these cuts happen. This bill that they want us to pass, this continuing resolution, which they say is clean, is not clean because it would continue the dirty work of H.R. 1 of that big, ugly bill. And we're saying no. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We've learned, right? Chuck Schumer learned when he tried to negotiate and it got screwed.
Yeah. I am not suggesting that I'm in favor of this thing lasting so long that more and more people feel the pain of it. But again, that calculus just jumps out at me. What happens when the people who supported Donald Trump start feeling the pain? I love your line. He's not a president. He's a punisher. I may use that in a couple of days. The first time I use it, I'll give you attribution at least. After that, it's mine, right?
Okay. Yes.
As I always say, he's not a president. He's a punisher.
Yes.
But to your point, what happens when the people who supported Donald Trump start feeling that pain?
Well, they're going to call Democrats and ask us if we can help. I, had this happen with a business owner from Mississippi who was scared that he was going to have to shut his businesses because of the tariffs, because he does work in Brazil. And, Trump was mad at Lula for sticking up for the country over Bolsonaro. And he asked me if I could help him. And I listened, but I said, at the end of the day, I actually think you voted for this, didn't you? So it makes more sense for you to talk to your Mississippi representative. But of course, I understand losing jobs. More folks are in red states who are on Medicaid. There are red states that have rural hospitals that don't have a lot of urban centers like we have in Los Angeles, and they might only have 1 or 2 maternity wards or hospitals or community clinics, and those are going to close, and those doctors are going to move out of those rural areas and go someplace else. So those people are going to be hurting. We have to continue to make the case that this isn't just happening because it's happening because of Donald Trump. Yeah. We have to tell that to those who actually voted for him so that they don't do this mistake again come 2026 in the midterms.
And since you referenced it, let me follow you. How do we process Donald Trump essentially boasting, bragging, beating his chest about the fact that Democrats have given him, these are his words, as you know, an unprecedented opportunity when it comes to firing these fellow employees?
Well, Donald Trump is a liar. We know this. And I also believe he's in cognitive decline. But we're not giving him the opportunity to do this. They were planning to do it anyway. Did you read Project 2025? They talked about dismantling government, intimidating workers, firing workers. Interestingly enough, when he has done that, we've actually taken him to court more times than we've lost, and courts have said you have to bring these workers back. Interestingly enough, they've gotten rid of workers and then had to realize that what they did wasn't even helpful to what they were trying to do, and we're trying to find these folks and bring them back. Interestingly enough, that's actually costing taxpayers more money than it is saving.
Yeah.
when you mentioned a moment ago that Donna, I love her. She's so bold. She says publicly on a national radio program that she believes that Donald Trump was in cognitive decline. We had that conversation ad infinitum, ad nauseum about Joe Biden. That conversation about him, even though we see signs every day that clearly something is wrong, that conversation has not yet stuck. The mainstream corporate media is not engaged in that conversation like they were with Joe Biden. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm sitting in your booth and it says unapologetically progressive. I would add unapologetically Black and unapologetically honest and unbought, unapologetically unbought. I have to say, I've been on a lot of programs with mainstream media, and no one's ever asked me about this. And you see it every day in the video clips. He's stumbling. He's going off script. He's saying strange things. Tylenol and autism? Are you kidding me? And I'm surprised that no one, not surprised, but the fact that I'm in all of these hearings in Washington, D.C., and Republicans never talk about this when every single day they were bringing up the health of Joe Biden lets me know that they also know that he's in cognitive decline and they're doing all they can to cover it up.
It's one thing for Republicans not to raise that issue. It's another thing I'm putting my finger on for my institution, the media, not to talk about this. They could not get enough of having conversations about Joe Biden's mental acuity. Indeed, Jake Tapper, you got a couple of people on the left politically who were writing books about this, right? So the mainstream media the corporate media could not get enough of talking about Joe Biden's mental decline. Why do you think the media has not wrapped their arms around that storyline?
Well, I mean, I could get into my own theories about antitrust and monopolies and corporate media sort of gobbling up stations, looking to actually take the signals away from NPR and public broadcasting because they want to give it to the evangelical right, and Sinclair and Nexstar working in combination with one another to silence independent thought. I mean, we could have a whole conversation about that. But in a nutshell, that's why folks are scared and they're looking at their investors, and their investors want returns, and the Dow is doing good for those folks. And so they'd rather lie to the American people than tell the truth.
It's a point worth raising. I'm glad you raised it, a point worth underscoring, which I attempted to do there. Just put your finger on that for the time being. But here's a storyline that the mainstream media, nobody else wants to cover. But you, again, see examples every single day that something is amiss, something is awry, something is wrong here with him. And yet that story just hasn't taken flight yet. Let me put it that way. I'll leave it there for now. All right. I want to spend the rest of our 10 minutes here talking about Prop 50. So obviously this program is, I'm based in LA. That's why you're in studio here. You're in LA. I'm in LA, and it's great to see you in studio, but we're heard across the country, and the country is sort of tracking, or trying to track as best they can, what's happening in California, Prop 50. That's my only setup. Take it away.
So it all started in Texas. Well, it actually started before Texas with H.R. 1, a big ugly bill, and these tax cuts, and Donald Trump and Republicans thinking that everyone was going to love what they just pushed through. And then they started hearing from the American people who say, hey, I actually do want my health care. And they started looking at polls saying that they were going to lose the midterm elections, which is a form of checks and balances, not just on Congress, but also on the president. And the president said, hey, I like this unfettered power that I have, and being able to, silence all of these Republicans to make them yield their congressional power to me. So I'm going to rig the elections in 2026 to keep this going. And he called Greg Abbott and said, find me 5 seats, which also happened to be Black seats. Greg Abbott did. That's actually going to court. And then we had a conversation in California, right? Because we've been hearing from folks saying, fight back, fight back. And we said, well, we are also going to step in. The bear's going to wake up, and we're going to fight back. It is a moral defense, right, to fight when you are at risk of losing Black seats across the country. And it is a strategic offense to fight fire with fire and use the same tactics against them. Now, the difference, and there are major difference between what happened in Texas and what's happening here, is this process has been fair, transparent, and it will be temporary. Fair. Maps, everyone can see them, went through the legislative process, on the ballot, will be on the ballot. Transparent, in accordance with the Voting Rights Act. So we're not taking away Black or brown seats. Temporary, it will stop in 2030 when the regular census process and redistricting process starts. But this is a moral defense and a strategic offense to fight back against Donald Trump. And I have to tell you, I was at CBC ALC 2 weeks ago, annual legislative conference. We had a meeting on redistricting. Heard Emmanuel Cleaver from Missouri share his story.
He's on this. We had him on the program. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he said, the call didn't come out of the blue. It came from the White House, and they said, take away my seat, take away Emmanuel Cleaver's seat. So they are strategically looking to go after seats that have been held by Black Caucus members.
So what is the polling data, to the extent you've seen some, and if anybody's seen it, you have, I have not seen it as yet. What's the polling data suggest about what Californians think about this special election in a few weeks from now?
Yeah, so the majority of folks support it. They're glad that Democrats are fighting. They're happy that the governor is taking this step, and they support it. It's like 70%. Many people know about it, so that's great. But there is a difference between I support Proposition 50 and I'm going to go out and vote for Proposition 50. And so we have to move the needle, because right now it's at around 54%. To say I'm actually willing to go out when it's the only thing on the ballot on November 4th and vote for Prop 50. And I'm telling folks, well, if you care about democracy, if you actually care about fairness, if you care about fighting against rigged systems, then you should vote for Prop 50. And if you're a Black person and you care about having Black people in Congress fighting for you, rather than a system where folks are going to be beholden to corporations and they are the people, then you need to fight for Prop 50, because the 5 seats that Texas grabbed, we're trying to give back so that we can have as fair a 2026 midterm election process as possible.
Special elections, as you well know, sort of intimated a moment ago, are tricky things, particularly when there's nothing else on the ballot. So that gap from 70 to 54 is a significant gap.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And the no on 50, was working faster than we were, because we actually had to get this thing passed in the state legislature and signed by the governor. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a celebrity. He's come out and said he's not for it. But interestingly enough, he hasn't said he wasn't for what happened in Texas. So maybe it's just about his legacy.
Who's better financed on this? Yes or no?
No is much better financed. You have one person funding it to the tune of $200 million, and he said he's willing to give more. And the yes has been cobbled together with, individual donors, folks that do have a lot of money, unions, the folks that actually care about democracy.
Oh, another question on this right quick. I got about 2 minutes left here. I've lived in California most of my life, as have you, obviously. And these propositions are tricky for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is because sometimes people are confused about what position they need to take, the yes or the no, right? The up or the down. So the answer on this one for our audience is what?
Is yes. Yes,
Okay.
I want to fight back. Yes, I want to fight against Trump. Yes, on Prop 50.
Okay, there you have it. I get asked that question all the time. So, Tavis, where should I be on this prop? Is it yes? Is it no? And it never ceases to amaze me the way that when you see these commercials, people get tricked and fooled, right, by the language.
Intentional. It's
Yeah.
intentional to trick you, but we're being very clear. It's fair, transparent, it's temporary, and it's a yes, because what it means is if we're able to win the elections in 2026, then we can investigate the president. We have subpoena power. We can hold his feet to the fire. We will have the power of the purse, and we can stop the kind of madness that we're in right now.
60 seconds left here. What does it mean, though, that to my mind, at least, we're going down the rabbit hole? I hear you. It's fair, it's transparent, and in California, it's temporary. But there are other states now, other red states lining up to respond to what we do or likely will do here in California.
The interesting thing is that those red states don't want to do it either. Even in Texas, when they gave up these seats, they actually imperiled Republican incumbents as well. So Republicans know that they're also being served on the platter, and they are reluctant to do this, but they're more afraid of Donald Trump than they are of the people. And I think we have to change that calculus.
I have asked the Congresswoman to come back on this program a couple of times, if not more, between now and special election day here in California, sort of be our special correspondent, if you will, to keep us on track for how this thing is going, whether we're pulling ahead, whether we're falling behind. What it looks like, she has graciously agreed to come back on here a couple more times, hopefully in studio, and if not, I'll get her on the phone, but we're going to use her, going to exploit her on this issue between now and the special election to make sure that we are in the know about how this yes versus no vote here in California. It's a California issue, but it's a national issue. And so I want the national audience to know how this thing is coming along here in the state of California. And when she comes on again, you know how to pronounce her name next time. She told you how. Cam, as in camel, lager, like beer. Sydney, Kamlager-Dove. Good to have you on the program.
Always good to be with you, Tavis.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett warns layoffs may be coming if the government shutdown drags on. On CNN, he urged Democrats to strike a deal.
I think that if the president decides that the negotiations are absolutely going nowhere, then there will start to be layoffs.
President Trump says he'll use the shutdown to target Democratic agencies for closure. The root is returning to Black ownership. Political strategist and CNN commentator Ashley Allison is acquiring the site from Geo Media, pledging to expand video partnerships and live events. She says the move honors the Roots legacy and meets the moment for independent Black journalism. And the White House brushed off SNL's season premiere with spokesperson Abigail Jackson saying she'd rather watch paint dry. The episode featured Bad Bunny and impersonations of President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers lost their second straight game after a 3-0 start. Magic Johnson's Washington Commanders rolled up in the SoFi Stadium Sunday and dominated the Chargers 27-10. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, back in the lineup after missing 2 weeks with a sprained left knee, threw for 231 yards and a touchdown. After the game, the San Bernardino native was spotted giving a tender handshake to USC women's basketball star Juju Watkins. The Dodgers are back in action today in Philadelphia for Game 2 of their divisional round playoff series. The Dodgers have a 1-0 lead in the best-of-7. First pitch at 3 p.m. Pacific time on TBS. UCLA's 42-37 upset win over Penn State Saturday knocked Penn State out of the top 25 rankings. Penn State was ranked 7th in the nation when they walked into the Rose Bowl Saturday morning. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Celebrating 100 years, Mount St. Mary's University LA is dedicated to moving your life and career forward. Earn your undergraduate or graduate degree and become unstoppable. Find out how at msmu.edu.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
We thank Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove for getting us kicked off today in this 3-hour show and just getting started. Two brilliant sisters in the first hour. It wasn't planned that way, but sometimes it happens that way. So you go from one brilliant black woman to another, from Sydney Kamlager-Dove to Dr. Kaye Wise Whitehead, my favorite talk show host in Baltimore, award-winning talk show host, founding director of the Karson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice at Loyola University Maryland. Dr. Kaye, how are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well, coming in from the East Coast. Tavis, Smiley, I hope you're doing well.
Man, I'm always better when I hear your voice. Before I jump into our conversation, let me play some sound. I played some sound of Mike Johnson in our Sydney Kamlager-Dove conversation when she was in the studio a moment ago, and I want to just play because this sets the frame for the fight that we are in right now. When it comes to this continuing government shutdown, we are now on day 6. This is the senator from Texas. Speaking of Texas, Ted Cruz.
Chuck Schumer and the Democrats force a shutdown, which they now have, that President Trump is going to use that as an opportunity not to tell people you're furloughed for a few days, but instead to send pink slips and to get rid of left-wing bureaucrats who are imposing left-wing priorities that are contrary to President Trump's priorities. I think that is fantastic. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause Democrats in Congress to scream and weep and gnash their teeth. I cannot wait for the next Democrat lunch when they start screaming at each other, when they start seeing pink slips go out at the EPA, at the Department of Labor, at the IRS, and suddenly the bureaucrats that they are entrusting to advance their job-killing agenda are themselves without a job. That's what's going to end this shutdown, as the Democrats are realizing that President Trump is making major advances for economic liberty as a result of the Democrats' temper tantrum.
He calls it economic liberty. By any other definition, he is, Donald Trump, that is, using this unprecedented opportunity, as he calls it, to fire federal government workers. You hear Ted Cruz suggesting that once Democrats get enough of that, and realize the hand that they have dealt to Donald Trump, then they will end this shutdown that they started. What do you think of the logic?
So I think that we're living in a moment now where things are absolutely not making sense to everyone. It's like two different realities here, because there were a few days ago when I was actually in alignment with Ted Cruz, and that's when I knew that the world was completely backwards because Ted Cruz was actually talking against what the Republicans were doing. I said, when the world forces me to be in alignment with Ted Cruz, I know there's a problem. So the Ted Cruz I'm hearing now is the Ted Cruz I'm used to. I am used to him saying exactly what he said. He is back in line. Whatever happened over the weekend, they pushed him right back in line with the rest of them that are goose-stepping along with this government shutdown, with this president where we see an authoritarian regime rising, with the fact that no one can disagree with the president, because disagreeing means you're going to end up what? Getting fired because you disagree? Yeah. I mean, this is the reality that people don't understand the long-term impact of this. It is two different Americas right now, and it's becoming clear to everyone every day.
Sometimes we look for a silver lining. Sometimes we have to acknowledge there is, in fact, a dark cloud. I don't buy the spin any more than you buy the spin that Democrats gave Donald Trump an unprecedented opportunity, that they forced this shutdown. The Republicans didn't want to negotiate with him. So I'm not buying that nonsense. But what is as real as rain
brain for me as I talked to Kaye Wise Whitehead, a black woman. Just got through talking to Sydney Kamlager-Dove, another black woman. Every one of us knows, I've discussed on this program, that the unemployment rate, the unemployment numbers for Black America is rising. We are always the canary in the mine, and Black unemployment numbers are off the charts right now. But here's the real rub, that what's driving those numbers up, Black unemployment, are the loss of jobs for Black women. And why are Black women losing their jobs? Because so many work for the federal government, and because so many have been fired, given pink slips, the numbers of Black unemployment are going through the roof again, primarily because they have fired so many Black women. You see where I'm going, Kay? When you connect those dots, I mean, so maybe Republicans, maybe Ted Cruz has an argument that maybe Donald Trump has an argument that Democrats, and I'm not suggesting they made the wrong decision to fight for health care, but there are always these other issues that we have to track as well, and it may very well be the case that more Black women end up being fired because of this opportunity that Donald Trump now has. So how should we read that and yet stay focused on the fact that we care about health care?
I'm so glad you said that, and I really appreciate the question, because I think to put it in context, we have to historically go back. I'm going to assume, Tavis, and just correct me if I'm wrong, you and I are right around the same age. I think you remember hearing from parents and teachers at the time, get a good government job and things will be set for you, because we understand that when they broke down the walls of segregation, it was into the government that a lot of Black people marched.
Kay, let me cut in right quick since you went there. We all recall the movie Hollywood Shuffle from Robert Townsend.
Yes.
Remember the great line in the movie, there's always work at the post office.
There's always
work at the post office.
They walked in with protest signs and they walked out with job slips. Like I remember that, because that was the truth. It was like, when you're talking about how the Black middle class was primarily built, not the only way, but how it was primarily built, it was through government workers. You could get in there, you can bide your time, and you will continue to advance in the government for good, bad, or indifferent, right? It was a stable place where people knew they weren't going to get fired. They were going to be able to advance, not even based upon the color of their skin, sometimes based upon how long you've been there, content of your character, jobs opening up. The government was a place that people knew. If I want to build wealth for my family, help to pay for my kids go to college, I get in, I show up every day, and I do the job that's laid before me. When he went after that by allowing Doge to get in there and do those cuts, it was going after the Black middle class. 318,000 Black women lost their job and livelihood over a 3-month period. We're going to watch very slowly in real time the decimation of the Black middle class, because we know we are at a moment when Black women do bring in higher wages than their husbands. We know that. And sometimes they're the only person in the household bringing in the major wage. When you cut that off and you start moving through the money you have saved up, and you get into the reality of what it means to have a job that you've been doing for 30 years, whether you've been putting this widget in this hole, who are you competing against to work for right now? Where are you even going to work? How do we rebuild and hold on to the Black middle class? Because that's what's going to be decimated. If the Black middle class held up fraternities, sororities, held up Jack and Jill, the Links, the Maces, held up college attendance and HBCUs, all of that's going to be impacted by allowing Doge the freedom to do whatever they want. They are still working, they are still cutting, and it's still impacting us.
So for Black people, this is getting good. For Black people in particular who are listening to us right now all across the country, is it possible that if this shutdown goes on so long, that it leads to a greater, to use your word, decimation of the Black middle class? Might we in Black America be rethinking whether or not the shutdown was the right thing for us?
I think this is a good time for Black folks to be rethinking whether or not this version of democracy, this table that we've been sitting at, being force-fed, their version of democracy, has ever been good for us. We are watching it all burn down. And we understand when things burn down for the rising regime, they're going to be what they call the consequences of war, the casualties of war. They are fine with discarding us. As we saw with Pete Hegseth, who did he go after? Black folks? When he said no beards, he went after women. He went after the people that at this point have been holding up this very rickety society. I think Black folks are going to have these, these noontime meetings everywhere, not on social media, because we don't want want people watching, but we've got to talk about what comes after the burning down of democracy, because maybe we shouldn't be the firefighters trying to save something that probably should be burned down anyway. Democracy before January 20th was never a good place for us anyway, right? We were protesting, and you and I were having these conversations prior to January 20th. I'm like, wait a minute, before I'm running in to fight the fire to save what we've had, let's talk about whether what we had was good for us. Can we take this moment to reimagine something different? Because it's going to take some time to rebuild what he is breaking, because he's not finished breaking it yet.
I love these Black women with all these bars they're dropping today. I love these lines. A rickety society. That's what we have. A rickety society. You can see the illustration, right? And that's Kaye Wise Whitehead. Before that, we had Sydney Kamlager-Dove reminding us that Donald Trump is not a president. He is a punisher. They're dropping bars today. More with Kaye Wise Whitehead when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate, with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless, for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Dr. Kaye Wise Whitehead. Here is Donald Trump going off about this federal judge disallowing him to send troops to Portland. Let me play it, and I'll tell you why I'm playing it.
Well, I disagree with that, Judge. I wasn't served well if they put judges like that on. I wasn't served well by the people that pick judges, I can tell you. Things like that are just too bad. I appointed the judge, and it goes like that. So I wasn't served well. Obviously, I don't know the judge, but if he made that kind of a decision, Portland is burning to the ground. You have agitators, insurrectionists. All you have to do is look at the television, turn on your television, read your newspapers. It's burning to the ground. The governor, the mayor, the politicians are petrified for their lives. And you have a judge like that, that judge ought to be ashamed of him.
I don't know why Donald Trump always stands in front of that. Why does he stand in front of that engine when he's taking questions? It makes it so hard for us to bring you what he says, but I digress on that. I played that's the exact wrong place to stand if you want to be heard, right? In front of an airplane engine. But I'll leave that where it is. I played that clip because Donald Trump has been disallowed to send National Guard troops to Portland. There are a couple things that jump out at me about that clip, Kay. First of all, it gives you his mindset. He says, I appointed that judge and I was not served well. It shows you Donald Trump's his mindset, his thinking. I appointed that judge and by him, I was not served well. Take that first part, Kay. I'll jump from there.
Because it is this belief that 47 has that the American government belongs to him. Somewhere along the line, the people who serve him and obey him have led him to believe, falsely so, that the government does not belong to the people, it belongs to a person. That is Project 2025. If you read through the 900-page document, you get up into pages 250 into 372. If you get up in there, they talk about the centralization of power into the hands of one person, the executive branch. That's what they said. Forget about we the people, forget about checks and balances. If one person can control it, then one person can break it and can mold it and shape it. He believes that. He says it every time. He said it before he got in the office, and he is standing firm on that as every executive order, every decision, every rambling speech, every action has shown and proved that he actually believes that he is the government. What I want should happen. It happens in other countries where there's a dictator and authoritarian regime. Why isn't it happening here? Because that's what he's really asking.
Yeah. The second reason why I played that clip is because Donald Trump has no love for Baltimore, or for that matter, state of Maryland. He has been in a war of words ongoing now with the mayor of the city of Baltimore, Baltimore City. Been in a war of words with the black mayor of the city and the black governor of the state, Wes Moore. I'll get Kay's thoughts about that when we come forward. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm jealous. I'm a bit jealous. As much ice cream as I love to eat, and I'm an ice cream. She's laughing already. I love ice cream, but ain't nobody gave me my own ice cream flavor. And Dr. K has her own ice cream. I'll let her talk about it when we come forward. It's called Dr. K's Taste of Freedom. Justice you can savor. How about that? Dr. K's Taste of Freedom. She has her own ice cream. I'm jealous. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever. Backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. Benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493, 800-515-4493.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Quick correction here. Donald Trump referred to that judge as him. He did appoint the judge, but it was her. And maybe that's part of his chagrin that he found out it was a woman he had appointed and not a male. So it was a woman judge who ruled that he cannot send National Guard troops into Portland. Maybe the president doesn't know that as yet, or maybe he does, and as I said, is offended by the fact that he didn't realize it was a woman he was appointing, but I'll leave that alone. I've got 3 minutes left with Kaye Wise Whitehead. Kaye, I mentioned I played that clip in part because he has no love for Baltimore City, no love for Maryland. He continues his war words with your mayor and your governor. What say you?
I'm saying that our mayor and our governor need to continue to stand as tall as they've been standing. We know that in this short list that he carries around, probably somewhere in his pocket, Baltimore's on that list.
Yeah.
And the only way that we can resist is leaning out to assist the cities that are right now under siege. I don't take it lightly what happened in Chicago with Black and brown people being arrested and disappeared. I don't take it lightly that's happening in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't take it lightly that his image of what happened in 2020 is happening today in Portland. It's going to come to Baltimore. And I'm asking people now, you cannot wait until you see the white sheets before you resist the Klan. You got to resist them now. Don't wait till they show up. You resist them now.
Yeah, you and I agree, and it's not a matter of even agreeing. He is so said. Baltimore's on his list.
He's already said it.
I suspect that if he has any opportunity to do so, he'll be sending troops your way. And you're right. You got to start the resistance now, not when they show up. All right, in the 90 seconds I have left, and that's all I'm giving you because I'm mad at you that you have ice cream and I do not. Tell me about this Taste of Freedom ice cream.
I'm so excited. So I'm doing a collaboration with Taharka Brothers, and Taharka Brothers, that's a local Baltimore-based ice cream with a whole bunch of brothers that they put their ice cream shop together. I'm sure your producer Faraji knows it, but they reached out to me in celebration of the 5 years of my Karson Institute and 8 years of my radio show Today with Dr. Kaye for me to create my own flavors. Dr. Kaye's Taste of Freedom. Layer 1 is black ice cream, black cocoa ice cream with white chocolate chips for disruption and intentionality because of blackness in the white chocolate chips. The second layer is French vanilla, which is coming from Madagascar, all about Creole and cultures coming together. And the final layer, the third bottom layer, is Kenyan coffee bean with brownies, because you know with the Mau Mau resistance, it was about controlling the land. So that's Kuji chocolate layer, self-determination, all 3 layers together. Justice you can savor. It drops today. Dr. Kaye's Taste of Freedom. I got my own ice cream, y'all.
I ain't mad at you. I've got to call back to Baltimore, have them send me some, have them ship me some of this.
I will ship you some. You're gonna get it, taste it.
Okay.
You will love it. Good.
Hey, Kaye, I'm holding you to that. Put it on ice.
Yes.
Ship me that ice cream.
I will ship you the ice cream out there. Tavis Smiley will be getting a pint of Dr. Kaye's Taste of Freedom. Get your little taste of freedom. Sometimes we gotta savor the justice as we fight for.
I love it. I love the description as to how the ice cream came to be. All right, I'm done. I'm done, Kaye. I can't do no better than that. Mic drop. I'm done with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you soon. Dr. Cornell West comes up when we continue on Tavis Smiley.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett warns layoffs may be coming if the government shutdown drags on. On CNN, he urged Democrats to strike a deal.
I think that if the president decides that the negotiations are absolutely going nowhere, then there will start to be layoffs.
President Trump says he'll use the